Thank you, Cowboy. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a great weekend, man. Listen, the Cowboys just win big versus our divisional rivals in the Washington Commanders. I think it was 44-22. Huge game, man. In my live, I did say this was a must-win game, regardless who was out there, because if you lose this game, your playoff chances drop to a minimum and don't really see a way of getting it back up, especially with all the losses you have taken to the NFC conference. Let me start with the lowest hanging fruit. Defense. Welcome to the party. Finally, man. We finally saw grits. What our defense has been needing, what we've been saying. The main problem with this defense is that teams and opposing quarterbacks were sitting idle and sitting very comfortable, and finally you decided to not be black in chess and actually wanted to be white and dictate the first move. I already saw it around X, some early stats that we jumped up to 56% in man coverage. That is a huge jump, and I am so glad we did that, man. We look completely different as a defense. We look more confident, more physical. Yes, some of the players, I'm glad that the front seven, in particular the D-line, woke up on their stomach today versus last week woken up on a back, looked like some complete shout out to the linebackers playing better, because I was saying last week, they played terrible, but it was mainly because your defensive line was just getting whooped in that Carolina game. But this, we were playing the point of attack very well versus a mobile quarterback. I'm very happy to see what we did. Now, let's get to the other part of this. Eberflus, you don't get no slack from me, because this change should have been happened. We have been calling for this change since the beginning of the season, and a certain player went up to you 2 weeks ago of you making this change, and you made a slight change versus the Jets game, and something similar happened. So why did we revert back in the Carolina game? It's clear as day that this scheme, this personnel grouping that we have, they work best when you dictate the issue. You can do your part of this, your scheme of sitting back in zone, but all we ask is this: can you have some sort of balance? Because you're doing 90% zone, and then coming to this week, if we're doing 56% man, that means you're doing less, like close to 40 to 30% zone this week, and see how completely night and day it was. This change should have been made, Eberflus. It should have been made. Yeah, speaking of changes, yeah, I'm gonna take this time to go at Cowboy Nation with this. Yeah, can y'all stop slandering this man name? We needed him today. Yes, we won, we blew them out, but him, along with what happened today, we look even better, because here's some things that you gotta take for. This is no such thing as a moral victory or ignoring the victory. No, we are football savants here, and you're savants, and you join me on my channel. First of all, we understand the man coverage worked because, one, the Washington Commanders are not without their number one receiver, but they were out their number two receiver. Okay, so I expect this to work. Not to mention, even though you caused this issue, their starting quarterback once again looked, limpy and hurt out there. So this whole notion saying that we're better off with Diggs because he's a cancer in the locker room and everything like that, I did the whole live show. You can check that out on me founding the politics behind that. But from a schematical standpoint, listen, man, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. It looked good today. We forced the issue. You still had a numerous amount of holding calls out there. We were holding guys left and right, and I love that. I love it, at least being aggressive. But I'm gonna call a spade at the end of the day. You need Diggs. These guys out here, if you're holding, I mean, you're struggling just a tad bit, to stay in front of the guy. And this is versus Luke McCaffrey and Robbie Chosen. What about when we play some Cortland Suttons? What about when we play some AJ Browns? We cannot be in this partition type mold, or thinking so close-minded, just going from one week to the next week, high then low, high then low, no projecting, no type of over analysis, none of that. We can't be that oblivious to the situation. So I'm killing all that narrative talk here, and if you come in my comments saying that right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not dealing with that, because like I said here, I'm building a community of football savants, somebody who's very much so want to be a student of the football, and all that surface level narrative bullshit, y'all can kick rocks. We need Diggs, and you look a whole lot better in this scheme with Diggs, who is a primary man corner, period. Moving on to this offense, I thought we had a very solid game on offense. I appreciate what we did. We man, this offense is just humming on all cylinders right now. Like the most memorable drive is right before the half when they scored. Man, it took us 35 seconds to go down there. Deep pass to Pickens, and then Javonte Williams finding a hole and carrying 2 defenders on his back. This offense is very much so high powered. Shout out to Ford, who's having, once again, a hell of a season, putting his body on the line. I'm glad we won enough to, to not rely on him and get out of there healthy. But shout out to the, to the weapons around him. CD coming back, looked good. I'm glad he walked out of there healthy. Pickens, once again, proving that he's a number one, almost on the same level as CD, and we have to give him the targets as such. Shout out to Ferg, shout out to the offensive line. It looked good, but listen, we're gonna break it down in the film on what can we improve upon. But I'm glad we got Booker back, because we look more powerful than we did last week versus this team. I had some, and I love how the offense and overall as a team, we didn't dwell on things in the game. We got the safety. No, we didn't stay on this, for long. Hey, when next time we get the ball, we're going back down there and score. We're going to go get that back in blood. You feel me? So we're not going to sit and dwell on our misery. All in all, hey, I'm glad that the Cowboys met, expectations, who played the opponent in front of them, did not dwell, did not sit down there, did not fold. I appreciate that from my Cowboys team. Let's take this to next week, because we have a very, very difficult game next week versus the Denver Broncos, because we have never, ever beaten them in like years. Man, it's going back to the 90s. So let's not get too confident, Cowboy Nation, like we did versus Carolina. Let's go in there with an underdog mindset. Let's start with the politics, Cowboy Nation, trying to get rid of our players. Let's keep all of our players. We are better together. We are better together, and let's add to it. F them damn picks. Go get Max Crosby, and then still go trade for a running back, man, because we need somebody behind Javonte Williams, and Javonte Williams is such a mauler, man. We cannot rely on that the entire season and think he's going to be able to hold up. We got to have some type of insurance. Go get insurance. That's been my time, Cowboy Nation. I love you all. Make sure to like, subscribe the video, hype the video down below if you're watching on the desktop, man. Until next time.